I want to talk about some inequalities and what's called the number line. The number line looks something like this: 0 in the middle, 1, 2, 3, it goes on forever, -1, -2, -3, it goes on forever. And the number line gives which numbers are bigger and smaller. As you go toward the right, these numbers get bigger. And as you go to the left, these numbers are getting smaller. And so let's throw a 4 in there. So because 4 is farther to the right than, say, 1, 4 is bigger than 1. And we can write that symbolically using an inequality sign, the greater than sign. 4 is bigger than 1. That's saying the same thing. This is the inequality sign. Inequality greater than sign. And the thing about the inequality sign, say if I put that back there, 4 greater than 1, is that it always points to the smaller one. It points to the smaller number. Another way of saying the same thing is that it opens up toward the bigger number. It opens toward the bigger number. And I like to think of that as that it wants to eat the bigger one. So if you put some teeth on it, you know how my picture of teeth, it wants to eat the bigger one. It wants to eat the bigger one. Okay, now that's the greater than. I can say the same exact idea by using the less than inequality symbol. So we looked at this, 4 is greater than 1. I can say the same thing, the same idea can be expressed as 1 is less than 4. So notice this symbol is going the other way. This is the less than symbol. And it still points to the smaller one, and it still opens up to the bigger one. So 4 greater than 1 is saying the same thing as 1 is less than 4. Okay, now in the homework, they're going to ask questions like this. They'll give you 2 numbers. They'll give you 2 numbers, and here's an example. Fill in the box with greater than or less than to make a true statement. And then they'll give you a couple of numbers, let's say 6 with a box and 2. Okay, now 6 is farther to the right than 2 on a number line, so the correct thing is to say that 6 is greater than 2. Okay, now some of these, because I'm a math teacher, I know 6 is greater than 2, but if you wanted to check your answer, you can use the calculator. If you take the first number and subtract the second number, and if the answer is positive, then the first number is bigger. First number is bigger. If the the answer is negative, then the second number is bigger. So for example, 6 and 2, now we already know 6 is bigger than 2, but just to illustrate the idea, if I go 6 minus 2, that came out a positive number 4, that means the first number was bigger. Now that can be helpful because sometimes it's not immediately obvious which number is bigger, especially when they start throwing in negatives or fractions and decimals. So as another example, here's another example. How about this one? Same thing. Negative 5, negative 6. Which one is bigger, negative 5 or negative 6? Fill in the box with the appropriate symbol. Well, I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to do it on the calculator. Now, one thing, this negative number on the calculator, there's two sort of negative symbols. There's this one over here, which is a subtraction sign. And there's one down here, which means a negative number. So when I do minus 5, minus 6, I'm going to start with this for the negative number 5. And then I'm going to do this for the subtraction. And then I'm going to subtract off the negative number 6. Negative 6. And that gives me an answer of a positive 1. So notice what just happened. Negative 5 minus a negative 6 equals 1. That's a positive number. So if you subtract and the answer comes out positive, that means the first number is bigger. And so the correct thing to fill in is the first number is bigger. So the correct symbol to fill into the box is negative 5 is greater than negative 6. Sometimes they're going to throw in fractions and decimals. Here's another example. How about, same example, how about 0.88, fill in the box 8/9. Well, here's some decimals and fractions. I'm going to use the calculator. I'm going to go 0.88 minus 8/9, and that comes out to be negative 0.0088888888. So 8.88 minus 8/9 was negative 0.00 and then a bunch of 8s. The point is this is a negative number. The answer is negative. And when that answer comes out negative, that means the second number is bigger. And if the second number is bigger, we want to fill in the answer to this. So the correct answer for 0.88 and 8/9, 0.88 box 8/9, we determine the second number is bigger. It points to the smaller one. It wants to eat the bigger one. So that is the correct answer. Now, they also have another kind of example, and they ask this, true or false, and they'll give you a question like this, example, 7/10 greater than or equal to 0.7. Notice that little line on the bottom. So this symbol means greater than or equal. And this statement will be true if 7/10 is either greater than 0.7 or equal to 0.7. And I can use the calculator again to check this. I'm going to do the first number minus the second number. So let me review what the question here was. 7/10 greater than or equal to 0.7, true or false? So on the calculator, if I go 7/10 minus 0.7, that answer comes out 0. Now what is that telling us? That's telling us that the two numbers are the same. So 7/10 minus 0.7 equals 0. That means the numbers are actually the same. The numbers are equal. And because the symbol is greater than or equal, 7/10 greater than or equal to 0.7 is true because the numbers are equal. Now I just want to do one more example. They give you some examples where they use that E notation. So here's one more example. True or false? True or false? 6e minus 5 greater than or equal 0.0006. Okay, before I do this, I'm going to change this E notation into decimal notation. Remember, because of the minus 5 there, that means I'm going to put 4 zeros in front of the 6. Minus 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros greater than or equal to 0.0006. So that's what this question is equivalent to. Again, I'm going to use the calculator. So the first number is 0.1234 zeros with a 6, minus the second number is 3 zeros with a 6, 1, 2, 3, 6. And that, notice, it gives me the scientific notation, but it's a negative number, negative 5.4e minus 4. So 0.00006 minus 0.0006 was equal to negative 5.4e minus 4. All we really need to know is that that's a negative. So the answer is negative. When the answer is negative, that tells me that the second number is bigger. But this inequality was saying 6e minus 5 greater than or equal to 0.0006. Well, that's not true because it's the second number is bigger. So 6e minus 5 greater than or equal to 0.0006. This is false. 6e minus 5 is not greater than or equal to. It's actually the second number that's bigger.